Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to draft a basic corset pattern. So to start, we have here my paper, which is measuring roughly my bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches. And then for the length, I am using 24 inches for the length, which is including allowance of 1 inch. So first I am marking my shoulder to nipple point, my shoulder to under bust, and then my shoulder to half length, and also the length of the corset. So I'm marking the same measurements on this side, after which I will use a ruler to connect both of them together. So this is the bust point, like I said, the under bust, and then the length. I left out the half length at this point, but I'm going to go back and mark it as you would see. So this is the half length now. So next thing, we are going to be marking the shoulder measurement. I'm working with, so shoulder divided by 2, I'm working with 7.5 inches here. So I'm marking the same 7.5 inches down, and then for the armhole I'm marking 8 inches. So using my ruler now, I am going to connect from the shoulder to that 8 inches point, and then I will roll it out to the side like so. Next, I will mark the neck width, which is 3 inches, and then on the armhole line I came down by half inch, and I'm connecting both points together to form the shoulder slope. Then from that line I measured my armhole, get the middle, make a mark, and then go in by half inch. Using my ruler, I will connect back to the shoulder and then curve the rest of my armhole using my armhole curve. So next I'm going to mark the neck depth, which is 3 inches. We really don't need this, but just for clarity. So I'm marking 3 inches for the neck width. I'm going to connect to the neck. For the neck depth, I'm going to connect to the neck width and make a curve like so. So after that, this is what the pattern is looking like so far. So I'm marking 7 inches down from the shoulder for the off shoulder. So it's a corset, and this is where my corset is going to start. This is going to be my chest line. So from the shoulder I came down by 7 inches. So this depends on what you want. You may want it a bit lower. So here now I am marking my bust band measurement, which is 5 inches. So my bust band measurement is 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So I added extra half inch for allowance, making it 5. So I marked that all the way down. Now on the under bust line, I marked 1.5 inch out from that bust band line, and I'm connecting all the way down. Now from that under bust, I'm going to curve to the bust point like so. Next, now on the bust band measurement, I will go in by half inch and then connect back to the bust point like so. Now the chest line, I'm going to go out by 1 inch from that line and then go in by half inch, and I'm connecting all these points back to the bust point. So next, now I'm marking my measurement. So the bust measurement I'm working with 44, so divided by 4, that's 11. So I added the 1.5 inch we had there back to it. And then on the waistline I did the same thing, waist divided by 4, and then I added back the 2 inches on the dart, and then I marked. So I'm going to connect and then add another 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'm not going to connect all the way to the end of the corset yet, and you will see why later. So now from the center front I came in by ½ inch. I marked that ½ inch all the way to the bust point, and then I came down by 2 inches from that 7-inch point. You can do 3, you can do more, because I went back to increase that later on and you would see. So on the side seam I came in by 1 inch. You can go in by 1.5, but I chose 1 inch here, and then using my curve I'm going to connect like so. This is to try and form the cup for the corset. Now for the center front we are going to also make a curve to the under bust line like so, making sure that everything is smooth. And then I'm going to connect back to the top and then blend out into the armhole. So this is the center front. I'm going to label this so that we don't get confused when it's time to sew. And this is the side back. I'm making arrows to know which part is up and which part is joining to the other part. You can also make use of this upper part to form a yoke if you're making that type of corset, but for the purpose of this tutorial we are making a very basic corset. So now it's time to cut. I've cut out that part, and then I am cutting the cup. As you can see, give this video a like if you are enjoying it, or if you're learning. I would really appreciate that, and it's going to help my channel out. Thank you so much. Next, now I'm cutting out the dart, and then using my tape we're going to glue this part together because I don't want any joinings on my corset. Everything is going to be joined together at this stage, so we have very little joinings to do later on. So using tape now I've joined the pieces together. So my front piece is one. Now so from the half length I am making a curve down to the end. You can make it a V, which will form like a box, but I decided to make it curved. So I'm cutting out now the side seam. So the back piece is not going to be as long as this. What I did was add extra 5 inches to my half length to get the length that I'm working with for the front. So this is it for the front pattern. Next we are going to move on to the back. So I'm using this paper to cut out the back. It looks funny, I know. I don't want to waste it. It's enough for what I need it for. So the back is going to stop at half length. So I marked my shoulder to half length plus extra 1 inch. So I'm going to rule that out. That is our length. Okay, shoulder to half length plus 1. Then we are going to go ahead now and mark the zip. This is the back piece, so we're making use of zip allowance 1.5 inch. After that I ruled the line out. This is the zip allowance. Next we're going to mark the shoulder. So next now I am marking the shoulder measurements. From that zip line I am marking 7.5 inch, which is my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So I came down a bit to mark the same 7.5, and then I am marking my armhole, which I'm using 8 inches. My measurements are starting from the zip line and not to the edge of the paper. So after ruling that out, I'm going to connect outwards like so, just like we did for the front. So I'm marking neck, I'm marking 8 inches for the neck, for the armhole all the way, because that is where the back piece is going to start from. That's going to be the beginning part of the back piece. Next, I'm just marking 1 inch for the neck depth and then 3 inches for the neck width, just for illustration purposes. So you get what we are doing. I came down by ½ inch on the armhole side and then I connected, as you can see. Next, just like we did the front, I'll get the middle, go in by ½ inch, connect back to the shoulder and then curve the rest using my armhole curve. Next, now I am marking the dart. I marked 5 inches in from the zip line, which is my bust span measurement divided by 2 plus extra ½ inch. So I connected that to the chest line and then I am marking ½ inch on both sides at this lower part. I'm going to connect all to the chest line like so. This is the dart for the back. So I just extend it to the seam allowance. So next now it's time to mark my measurement. So on this line, starting from the zip line, I'm going to mark quarter of my waist measurement plus that 1 inch of that. And then on the chest line as well, I'll also start from that zip line and mark my bust measurement divided by 4. So after connecting both points together, I'm going to mark another 1 inch for seam allowance. So this could serve as a yoke if you are doing that type of corset, but for us, we are going to cut that out. So on the half length line now, on the zip side also, I went in by half and I'm connecting out. All of this is really not necessary for this pattern. This is just a basic half scale bodies that you can use just to help understand how this works. So from that zip line, I went in by 2.5 inches at the top and then 2 inches in from the half length point. We are going to be cutting that part out because it's a corset and then we need that space. So this is the where the loop is going to sit. Our loops, you can do the eyelets and the whatever, but I am using loops. So next now it's time to cut. I cut out the upper part, which is the yoke, and we're also going to remove this 2.5 inches and 2 inches we cut at the back. Next is time to remove the dart, but first I'm going to label the back piece so we don't get confused. Now using my tape one more time, I am going to glue this together to make it one piece. That way we don't have to add so many seam allowances and too many joinings and ironings when it's time to sew. So using the tape, I'm going to tape them together and now we have one back piece. So next now we're going to join it to the front. That way we have one long piece for both front and the back, and then it will only be the cups that will be separate. So I added 1 inch seam allowance on both of them, so I am going to match them on top of each other. And then I will use my tape again to tape them together, and then we will have one piece for both the front and the back. So now because I have seam allowances on the back piece for the length, I'm going to just blend it out and then we'll add seam allowances when cutting on the fabric so that everything blends accurately. So now this is our front and back corset piece. I'm also going to blend the upper part as well, that is hanging, and this is what we have. So we're going to cut. The front piece is going to be on fold while the back is going to be open. And this is it for drafting. In my next video, I'm going to show you how I placed it, how I cut it on my pattern, and then the finished product. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Please give it a like, comment, and share with your friends who might need it. Thank you again for watching.